Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to Zenny 62 Live. It's at midnight, and as it looks right now, there is going to be a World Series Game 7. How about that? World Series Game 7. And I think, yeah, World Series Game 7, final. Washington Nationals 7, Houston Astros 2, and one very pissed off Kate Upton. Did you hear about that? Yeah, Kate is none too happy, man. Kate is she was mad about this, mad about that, mad about her man running the bases a certain way. The ump said, "Hey, I ran the wrong way." She goes, "No, that's the right way. You're boy." She started a Twitter storm. Name rose to the top of Twitter. Wow, wow. But you know what is interesting for me is I believe the Nationals are going to win tonight, tomorrow night in Houston. That's what I believe. I think the Nationals are going to go to Houston and they're going to take it. They're going to take it in Texas. I know they'd rather take it in D.C., but they're going to take it in Texas. Uh, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It really is. Let's see here. Also, a few other little notes before I get started on the main topic. I gotta say, I have to. I have to say this. If you haven't had a chance to watch Emergence on ABC, please watch Emergence on ABC. There's really great television. It's I don't want to spend a lot of time giving it away, except to say that it's really got more twists in it than a Gordian knot. I think that's a good description. Yeah, it's got more twists in it than a Gordian knot. You'll love it. And if you're a lover of truly realistic science fiction, you will get a kick out of Emergence on ABC. It's Tuesday night, 10 o'clock in the East, and I believe it's 9 o'clock Central. But I can't get enough of Emergence. I wish it was a 2 hour show. Hey, welcome to Zenny 62 uh, tonight. Now, this is what I'm burning on, and then I'll get your comments. The NCAA ruling saying that college athletes can make money off the use of their likeness and name is huge. And there are a number of people that are talking about it. It's to talk here in Georgia, as you might expect, because there's so many football players here. But there are a lot of great sports athletes here, both male and female. And when the talk of women comes around, the assumption is that the men are going to get more, but they're not. I'm telling you, they're not. People don't really get the implication of this whole thing. First of all, let's really just review what we're talking about here. And to do that, the best way to do it is to go to the NCAA website and just read straight out what they did. Right? Hey, welcome to Zenny 62. How you doing? And then come back and then flesh it out. Okay? Because the NCAA reported on Twitter first of all, and then I'll go deeper into what they did. But the short version, as they put it out, was NCAA Board of Governors. This is what I'm reading here, folks, right here, right there. NCAA. I'll save you the pain of having to use your eyes by reading it for you. NCAA Board of Governors here in Atlanta. They had the meeting at Emory University. Starts process to enhance name, image, and likeness opportunities. And Michael V. Drake, who is the chairman of the board of governors of the NCAA, said we must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes. Additional flexibility in this area can and must continue to support college sports as a part of higher education. This modernization for the future is a natural extension of the numerous steps NCAA members have taken in recent years to improve support for student athletes, including full cost of attendance and guaranteed scholarships. Now, when you click on it, has a full page. Board of Governors starts process to enhance name, image, and likeness opportunities. Each NCAA division directed to immediately consider modernization of bylaws and policies. That occurred today at 1:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then it reads, in the association's continuing efforts to support college athletes, the NCAA's top governing board voted unanimously to permit students participating in athletics the opportunity to benefit from the use of their name, image, and likeness in a manner consistent with the collegiate model. The Board of Governors' action directs each of the NCAA's 3 divisions to immediately consider updates to relevant bylaws and policies for the 21st century. Says Michael V. Drake, chairman of the board of directors, says Michael V. Drake, chair of the board and president of The Ohio State University. And this is a quote. This is written weirdly. Basically, you would say, why is he stumbling over this? This is why. Okay, look. This second paragraph, I hate to nitpick, but look, all right. It says, there's no quote here, right? It just reads, the Board of Governors' action directs each of the NCAA 3 divisions to immediately consider updates to relevant bylaws and policies for the 21st century, said Michael V. Drake, chair of the board and president of the Ohio State University. Well, if that's the case, there should be a quote here, right? But there's no quote, or Michael V. Drake said. So I'm reading this for the first time, and I got confused. This is just a statement. Then it says here, right? And then they've got a quote. You see how confused? You see? So if you wonder why I get tripped up sometimes, it's because someone didn't write something to be read correctly. You have to correct them on the fly. But I digress. Chairman Drake, president of The Ohio State University, said, we must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes. Additional flexibility in this area can and must continue to support college sports as a part of higher education. This modernization for the future is a natural extension of the numerous steps NCAA members have taken in recent years to improve support for student athletes, including full cost of attendance and guaranteed scholarships, okay? And it says, specifically, the board said modernization should occur within the following principles and guidelines. 1, assure student athletes are treated similarly to non-student athletes unless a compelling reason exists to differentiate. 2, maintain the priorities of education and the collegiate experience to provide opportunities for student athlete success. 3, ensure rules are transparent, focused, and enforceable, and facilitate fair and balanced competition. 4, make clear the distinction between collegiate and professional opportunities. 5, make clear that compensation for athletic performance or participation is impermissible. 6, reaffirm that student athletes are students first and not employees of the university. 7, enhance principles of diversity, inclusion, and gender equity. 8, protect the recruiting environment and prohibit inducements to select, remain at, or transfer to a specific institution. The board's actions were based on a comprehensive set of recommendations by the NCAA Board of Governors Federal and State Legislation Working Group, which includes presidents, commissioners, athletic directors, administrators, and student athletes. The group gathered input over the past several months from numerous stakeholders, including current and former student athletes, coaches, presidents, faculty, and commissioners across all 3 divisions. The board also directed continued and productive engagement with legislators. The working group will continue to gather feedback through April on how best to respond to the state and federal legislative environment and to refine its recommendations on the principles and regulatory framework. The board asked each division to create any new rules beginning immediately, but no later than January of 2021. Quote, as a national governing body, the NCAA, National Collegiate Athletic Association, in case you're wondering, is uniquely positioned to modify its rules to ensure fairness and a level playing field for student athletes, NCAA President Mark Emmert said. The board's action today creates a path to enhance opportunities for student athletes while ensuring they compete against students and not professionals. And that's the decision. And there are a number of people. If you type NCAA ruling, hey Eric and everybody else, they're a little like spooked out about it. Coach Tucker, Coach Tucker is some dude on Twitter who calls himself Coach Tucker. Coach T note: the NCAA passing the rule today that student athletes can benefit from the likeness is a ruling that has opened the doors to anarchy in college athletics. How this is going to be controlled is beyond me and could result in many players being ruled ineligible. BS. Then it says, seems onerous. This is somebody else. Seems onerous. Fair in the big scheme of taxation, but onerous. Back to the point. The likelihood is the NCAA ruling will have a net negative impact to the value and esteem of the sports and the universities. Ridiculous. Then there's another one. I'm not sure. I'm just reading these as they come off. I didn't pre-pick these. I'm not sure this NCAA ruling is going to create a financial windfall for most athletes. If the athletes aren't going to be able to use the uniform or name of the school, and I'm guessing they won't, this is this person's guess, those athletes outside of the biggest names aren't going to be very marketable. Here's another one. The NCAA ruling is going to end poorly. The ruling has been out for a day, won't take an effect for another 2 years, and already congressmen are talking about taxing sports scholarships, and now any athlete can charge $5 for their name on a dining hall napkin. No one will win this game. Then there's distance runners going to clean up with this India. That's the first positive one I've seen. Okay, but a lot of people here, and as I read these, mostly men. I haven't seen a woman like chime in. Oh wait, Barb SoCal says, "What do you think of proposed NCAA ruling coming out of California regarding football players being paid for their names, images, and likeness? It's a game changer, that's for sure, on all levels." Sure. And so here's the point, okay? This is something that needed to happen a long, long time ago because and I know of athletes that are very popular and they get their name and likeness passed around all the time and they can't gain any money from it, okay? But the bottom line is that today, and in particular in 2023, when the ruling goes effect in California, it will be a different market. This gives time for the whole universe, the whole industry of sports to prepare for this bombshell of revenue that is going to come from this. And it may be nickels and dimes, but it's nickels and dimes that student athletes didn't have access to before. $5 on a napkin for likeness, okay, fine. But multiply that times 100,000 napkins, and hey, or even 10,000. See my point? Or even 55,000 napkins. Okay, heck, how about 500 napkins? Okay, so these are sources of revenue that college students couldn't previously access that have been just out there, and many of them are very popular. I mean, I can just if I go to Google right now, right, I could type. Here's something else you have to remember. College sports is a broad range. There is no named distinction of what sport or what athlete and what sport can take advantage of this. It's every sport. So what does that mean? It means that, for example, NCAA, let's just have some fun. NCAA here, NCAA cheerleading. Yeah, NCAA cheerleading, because cheerleading is a sport. Okay, cheerleading is a sport, and so okay, but it's not one that's recognized by the NCAA, but there's a push to have it recognized by that. If that happens, then cheerleaders, which sell calendars, okay? The calendars that are sold for the squad, the individuals on the squad could open them and say, hey, I want some money. Watch what happens with NCAA cheerleading between now and 2021 or 2022. Watch, okay? And then, on top of all that, let's consider, we just type college women's basketball popular players, okay? Popular players, okay? So all of these women will be eligible, at least the ones that are playing, and perhaps the ones that are that just finished playing. Well, not that guy, but or maybe even that guy, but not, but the players. Okay, all these are within WNBA except Sabrina Onescu, and I typed college women's basketball popular players, right? So all of these, and see here's, look at this. These are the athletes to watch in the women's national women's basketball player of the year. Okay, this is as of March 1st of this year. So when there's an incentive to make these women personalities popular and therefore sell and create, excuse me for a second, and create demand for their likeness, okay? And this would change because, look, see, for example, UConn, all the UConn women would suddenly be looked at like Sue, like remember how popular Sue Bird was? Well, the next Sue Bird will be able to make money off of her name and following. Okay. Then there's Iowa's women's basketball, Oregon's junior guard Sabrina Ionescu. Okay, she might try to hold back a little bit just to collect some money. And there's Archie Agabonwe. Great smile. That's money in the bank, that smile now. So you get the idea, right? If you're a sports agent out there, you should be salivating over this opportunity because it's not just women's basketball players, it's cross country, track, gymnastics, swimming, baseball, actually softball. Quite a few women, when you add up the total, are going to benefit from this, which begs the question: what is, how many women play college sports, right? Play NCAA. Let's make it clear. NCAA college sports. How many women? And there are more women playing college sports than about 200,000 than ever before. The number of female athletes in NCAA schools has increased from less than 30,000 to over 193,000 since 1972, but women still have 60,000 fewer participant opportunities than their male counterparts. And so this is going to be, this rule change will allow women to combine two fields, sports and modeling, into one. If you're a woman who has a huge Instagram following, you've already created for yourself an influencer presence online, you've got 500,000 followers, and if you're a female athlete, who started going into the modeling area, but you said I can't because I'm a college athlete and the NCAA would take my scholarship away. Well, guess what? All that's gone. All that's gone. That is an enormous, enormous change. It's something to behold. Uh, it really is. So this is this is something that I think will cause everybody to look at women's sports differently, and but they're not going to realize it until my prediction 4 or 5 years down the road when the money really starts coming in. I think then people will say, "Hey, you know what? This is something else. This is quite an opportunity. It really is." So I believe that I believe that there will be one or two or three or four states that really lead in this because the other factor that's not considered here is gambling. That's right, gambling. So we have two developments that are quite literally on a collision course with each other. One of them is, of course, the California Governor Gavin Newsom's signing into law legislation that would cause college athletes to be paid for their name and likeness by 2023, combined with the NCAA ruling that's on the one side. The other side is the legalization of sports gambling in the United States. And now there are states, like granted a handful of them, that are in the process of taking advantage of this new development. Hey, Rob Ivan, how you doing? Yeah, it's a great move by the NCAA. Um, there's only, but that will change. The state that calls on the gambling industry and the gaming industry to develop regulations and a process to bet on women's sports will unlock another area of revenue for women. Why? Because in marketing those sports, those gambling operations will have to do what? They will have to use the likeness of the women playing the sport. Ooh. And they would have to compensate them. So you see, it's an incredible time to be a female athlete, I think. It really is. Because from the modeling standpoint, women make more money than men. So the idea that men are going to clean up over the women is a falsehood. That's not going to happen at all. Now, I'll tell you what will happen, folks, is this. What will happen is that there will be more women going into women's sports because then they know they can get paid. Here's another example of a type of sport that women play in college that gets some notice but very little in the Tiger Woods era, and that's, you guessed it, golf. Golf. Women like Michelle Wie and other champion golf players, when they were coming up through college, who had all of these photographs of them in women's fashion magazines and all over the sports magazine world. Now it would be Sports Online, of course, because people don't make magazines like they used to. The future Michelle Wies of the world will clean up. They will make bank because for the first time, again, they can combine their golf prowess with their fashion prowess with their modeling prowess. The modeling would be developed from their showing off Callaway golf clothing for women and worn by Jane Doe. Okay, it's the number of possibilities in this are just staggering. They are really staggering. So I think everybody gets the point now. you can stop talking about the idea that women are going to get the short shrift here. They're not. It's the reverse. My prediction is that while there will be a handful of men at the top that make a lot of money, in total, there will be more women making money because of this than men. I will repeat that. While there will be a handful of men, comparatively speaking, at the top making a lot of money from this, there will be more women in terms of total number than men making money in college as a college athlete because of this ruling. That's what will happen. Okay. So I'm going to close this one out, and then I'm going to turn back to the NFL. I wanted to talk about this one, this issue, and then I wanted to talk a little bit about the Raiders Stadium, and then a lot more about the NFL on another live stream, and then World Series Game 7. So I did that. But I really wanted to focus on this female college athlete development because I think it's incredible. And I'm going to talk about it more and more and more and see if I can get guests on. As far as the Las Vegas Stadium update, the roof is getting closer to being not finished, but the core structure is close to being raised into place. And as I understand it, that will be completed by mid-November. But that's not the end of it because it has to be covered over. And that process won't begin until, well, it's already started in terms of they're laying the panels around the rim, but they have to put the roof in place first before they can begin the process of laying out those panels so that it's covered over. I got to be honest with you, that structure of roof design looks flimsy to me. It just does. You've got the trusses that are hanging, right? They're hanging in place in these kind of trays, these cuts, right, around the rim, and they are hanging literally connected to each other around this rim. Then they're sitting on the curtain wall. All right, and then you've got this fabric, and everything it's like this. The whole thing is flimsy like that. Maybe if I wanted to think about it, it's better in terms of flexibility for a quake. But my question is, what would happen and how much harmonic motion could that structure take? I'm looking for standard one long truss span that connects everything, right? The super spans that Seahawks Stadium has, or the series of octagonal trusses that I saw over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Atlanta Falcons play, right? This one, it's flimsy, and University of Mars asks, is it quake safe? I have not seen a definitive report on what it can stand, okay? I mean, let's put it this way. There were tremors that came past it that were, 2 on the Richter scale, below that, right? But nothing on the 4 level or 5. There was the one that was the ripple effect from the Southern California quake, but that didn't cause a lot of known damage. It did impact the structure. The question is, what is the upper bound of Richter scale vibration that the Las Vegas Stadium, Legion Stadium can stand? And I don't know. I don't know. Eric Young says that UNLV will have a great stadium playment if it's done right. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh, absolutely. And as I said before, and I'll say again, hey, Chi, thank you very much. Let's go Washington Nationals. Good win. I quite agree. Hey, my gang is back here. Thank you. And once again, I get my thing together with that stuff. Thank you, Chi. And Chi, let me ask you, who should be, well, let me scratch that question. Just give me a score for tomorrow night. I'll give you one. Washington Nationals 5, Houston Astros 2. That's my prediction. 5-2. In Houston. in Houston. That's tomorrow. Boy, what a turnaround, man. You get to fly and then get out. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's something else. I don't know. Hey, something else regarding. So let me do this now. I've got that out of the way. I'm going to stop this 63 Nationals, okay? Hey folks. Hey folks, okay? I'm going to stop this vlog and I'm going to create one that moves the other subjects up so we can talk more about the NFL, all right? So I will be right back, and I promise I'll be right back in 4 minutes. 4 minutes, okay? Thanks. See ya. Actually, less